I talked to somebody about this as well, but you know how agents, of course, they don't really want to put in the offer, or they try to get you to have a higher offer, or they'll like, you know, come back and say like, oh, you know, we have offers in that are higher than yours. What's your best and, you know, whatever offer. Like, how do I like pretty much guarantee they're submitting the offers? Because they are supposed to be submitting the offers.
Always.
But how am I like, how do I guarantee they're actually submitting the offers? Because I've been on the phone with agents to say like, oh, we've had lowball offers. And I didn't even show my seller, you know, I didn't even bother with it. I didn't, you know, necessarily submit an offer, but like, I know that they do that.
I would say that you typically will know how the agent feels about your offer in your conversation with them about it. Mm-hmm. So that's where I would start with my understanding of whether or not I think this agent even showed the seller my offer. Because from what I can understand right now, from what you're saying, you're going directly to the listing agent, right? You're calling the listing agent, you're having a conversation about the price. You're telling them the price.
Well, I don't always tell them the price. I just like ask questions about the property. Yep. And I might say like, oh, this property seems like, if I did a little research beforehand, I'll say this property seems a little overpriced. And sometimes they'll say like, oh yeah, the seller, you know, I've been talking to him about that. Or they'll say like, oh, the seller wants what he wants, but you know, I'll have a discussion with them or whatever. And I don't necessarily tell them what my price is going to be until I just submit the offer via email. And then sometimes they'll just come back with, oh, you know.
Gail, I think what's happening is you're scared to say the number to the agent, maybe a little bit.
You think I should just tell them the number?
100%. Like, get that out, right? Look, here's what I don't want you to do. Have a conversation and then say, okay, I'm going to email you the number.
Well, they never necessarily ask me what the number, you know, they don't really ask.
It's your responsibility on that call to get to that part of the conversation so that you're not wasting time.
Got it.
Right? Because here's the thing. How do you guarantee that the seller's going to see it? Because the agent and you have discussed it. And before that offer gets written, because look, if you're having the conversation with them, say, you know where I think this number needs to be, 150. And they're like, oh my gosh. Okay, well, I know you're not ready for 150 right now. And I know that you're not ready to show your seller 150 right now. So then there's no point in us spending any more time talking about 150 right now because you're not there yet. So maybe I need to wait a couple of weeks. Maybe I need to wait a month. Maybe, you know, whatever it is needs to happen. But today 150 is not where you're comfortable having the conversation with the seller. So at least I know that. Mm-hmm. Right. But if it's like, hey, I want to write an offer. Okay, great. You know, I'm looking at this for a fix and flip. Okay, cool. I'll email you the number. Okay. So if I'm an agent, this is what I'm thinking. This person is not serious. This person is emailing me because they didn't have the backbone on. And I'm not saying this in a mean way. I'm just saying like you were scared to have the conversation about price on the phone with them, which is why you wanted to have that conversation go from call to email. Sometimes
I just want to just have it in writing. So I feel like that they actually will submit it to them because I could verbally have that conversation.
No.
And they can tell me no or no because they don't want the offer.
You want to get an understanding on the phone if that number and if they're ready to have this conversation. And again, you've got to look at the psychology of where you are and where they are in the listing history and to see if this is even an appropriate time to talk about your offer. Okay. Right? Are you talking about a house that's just got listed on the market?
No, property that's probably been there for 7 days or more.
Okay. Still 7 days it's still not a long time in an agent's mind. Okay. So stuff that's been on the market 20, 30, 60 days, that now is seeing age. And in my opinion, I think 30 days or more for an agent to really be like feeling like their property is getting stale, but 20 to 30 days plus, okay, you can start having the conversation. And that's when the first thing I'm asking the agent is, hey, this house has been listed for a while, market's hot, but things are turning and you're noticing that and nothing's happening on your house. Is your seller ready for a real number? Mm-hmm. Are they open to a real conversation about value and price? Mm-hmm. Yes or no, right? If they are, well, what is that? What do you mean by a real number? Well, I mean, I looked at your property and it looks like you've priced it as if the house has been fully remodeled and your house needs a full remodel. Right. So I'm just wondering if your seller's open to actually selling this at the price where it needs to trade for its condition. Well, where would that number be? I mean, I think it needs to be at 150. Oh, no. They're not ready for that yet. Okay, no problem. I'm going to try you back in 2 weeks to see if 150 works then. or
Okay.
here, take my number and call me back in 2 weeks, or call me back if you think they're getting to a point where they're going to start looking at a real number.
Okay.
And then I would try them again in 2 weeks. I would way rather have the conversation in 2 weeks than to just send them a 150 email and be like 150 and then have no response.
Right. So that's still considered an offer. That's how you're able to get offers in, and then like, not waste as much time.
Yeah, because I would way rather have the answer on the phone.
Okay.